A police radio announces a shooting incident that is happening at the DeSantis home at the start of the film. Jeffrey, the father of Victoria and Lily, murders his wife one winter morning and snatches his girls to flee. Despite the icy road, Jeffrey drives a fast automobile. Despite their injuries and the harsh weather, Jeffrey and his girls continue to follow a path towards an abandoned home in the woods shortly after the automobile crashes and plunges to the ground. Jeffrey makes fire for them while leaving his daughters inside. He shoots his daughters to put an end to their misery, as sorrow about murdering his wife and eluding the police begins to consume him. The spirit known as Mama then assaults him and dismembers him, leaving the two little girls behind as she removes her spectacles. 5 years later, Jeffrey's brother hires 2 hunters to seek for his nieces, believing they are still alive. After some searching, they come upon the wreckage of the automobile collision, and the hunters utilize their dog's sense of scent to locate the missing young girls. They eventually locate them in the cottage in the woods. But to their astonishment, the 2 young girls are behaving in an animal-like manner. The hunters quickly phone Lucas to inform him that his nieces are now safe. After 87 days, they head to the institute where Victoria and Lily are staying for the time being. They meet Dr. Dreyfus, who watches the girls as they exhibit animal-like characteristics. Doctor asks Lucas whether he may give the glasses to Victoria, after explaining that the girls were living as animals in order to survive after going missing for 5 years. She appears to have impaired vision. His appearance causes Victoria and Lily to hide behind the mattresses, but Lucas instructs Victoria to take the glasses and put them on, which she does. As Lucas resembles his brother Jeffrey, the relationship between the two is strengthened. The doctor explains that after 87 days of studying the missing children, they are displaying evidence of an imagined mother figure who sings, feeds, and helped them live in the woods for 5 years. It is known as Mama. The doctor emphasizes that Victoria and Lily may lead regular lives, with healthy physical and emotional development, considering Lucas and Annabelle to be their guardians. Miss Podolsky, another candidate for guardianship, says she wants to take care of Victoria and Lily since Lucas has money problems and could find it difficult to raise them. Dr. Dreyfus promises Lucas suitable housing and support following the hearing, if he accepts his offer. The doctor is eager to examine Victoria and Lily because they make a strong argument. After the 3 reach a consensus, Lucas and Annabelle agree because it would benefit the kids. They then go to Miss Podolsky. She is permitted to see the daughters once a week because they are still family. The next day, Lucas and Annabelle move into their new house, while Dr. Dreyfus continues to monitor Victoria and Lily's behavior in the hospital. Victoria tells the tale detailing their relationship with the entity, Mama, and its history while it is being recorded. She says that Mama demonstrates it to her through dreams. It is about a woman fleeing from the hospital while holding her infant as the police pursue them. She is stuck as she stands in front of a cliff with a river below. She has no option but to leap since she thinks it would rescue them, but Mama does not survive and leaves her baby on a branch in the process. Victoria and Lily move into their new house after a few days, and the 2 siblings explore the space to get comfortable. Later that day, Dr. Dreyfus recalls the woman Victoria mentioned, and he begins to look into who it may be. He requests reports with the same version of Mama's account from the woman at the archive. The woman returns with some paperwork, but notes that there haven't been any recent obvious examples in the neighborhood that seem to match the account. One book, however, provides the history of the St. Gertrude's Asylum, which has been shut down since 1878. Edith Brennan, a patient, has a similar setting. Luca is temporarily in a coma, leaving Annabelle as the children's sole caregiver. Annabelle experiences terrifying nightmares and glimpses of her mother. One day, Annabelle asks Dr. Dreyfus to have a look at the children's drawings on the wall because she thinks they could contain a deeper meaning. He notices a doll made of twigs, since he may have seen one previously. The doctor then goes back and listens to Victoria's original testing recording. He observes that the doll in the home's cupboard is identical. That doll was made by none other than Mama. After supper that night, Annabelle puts the kids to bed, but while she attempts to do so, she hears the sound of a deceitful woman playing. The children are the only ones in the room when she checks it out. Despite the fact that Victoria cautions her against opening the closet and says it is nothing, the doctor tells Annabelle that Victoria is producing the noises of the crooked woman the next day because she has a dissociative personality disorder as a result of spending 5 years by herself with her sister. Victoria is making the sounds of the crooked lady, the doctor says. Later in the library archives, the doctor comes to collect information about Edith Brennan, and he is handed a little box with the remains of the child of Edith that has been there for a long time. Lucas is shocked while at the hospital, but he has a vision of Jeffrey that alerts him to a potential threat the children may soon face. The right side of a bridge is where Jeffrey's silhouette is aimed. While the doctor and nurse hurry to the room to treat his shock, the vision vanishes as soon as he receives treatment. The next day, Annabelle sees Victoria trying to crack open a fruit bottle in her room. Victoria cautions her once more that Mama dislikes the fact that they are growing close because Mama is envious of Annabelle. Miss Podolsky is standing at the front door when the doorbell rings. Miss Podolsky says that it's on her schedule to watch the kids, as Annabelle opens it for her, but she realizes that there are injuries. She is prepared to file a case against Annabelle for physical abuse, since she believes that Annabelle is harming the children. All she needs to do is snap a photo of the bruises. Later on in the evening, Dreyfus makes a comeback with information concerning Mama's identity. Victoria becomes enraged when he gives her the photo, and the doctor reacts by yelling back and asking whether she recognizes the person in the image. But at his rear, a big black muck on the wall arises, from which moths spew out. He swiftly departs, since he doesn't want to see the release of the next beast. The doctor visits the cabin in the woods the following day to learn more about Mama and to assess how hazardous the thing is. Later that evening, as Annabelle is sound asleep, Edith shows her glimpses from her dream in which she describes how she had murdered nurses in the past. The flashback depicts Edith evading the law, and the scenario where she leaps from a cliff while her child is left hanging from a tree limb and drowns in the water. Lily can hear Edith yelling for her to come play in the other room via the window. Victoria is awakened by Lily, but she is adamant that they remain in the room because Lily loves her mother so much. When the doctor returns to the cabin, he searches the surroundings for evidence that would lead him to Edith, but the wall is pouring black sludge and releasing moths. His illumination starts to flicker and ultimately goes out as he overhears a woman making obscene noises. As a light source, he pulls out a camera with a powerful flash, but Edith assaults him. He keeps pressing the button to get more pictures of Edith, but she grabs him, drains his vitality, and slashes his face. The following morning, Annabelle visits Victoria and Lily in their room, but becomes alarmed when she sees Lily dozing off under a tree outside. Given how chilly it is outdoors, she dashes outside to grab Lily. She lifts her up and takes her inside, giving her a loving embrace and holding her hands. Lily ultimately snaps at Annabelle, but she realizes that Annabelle is only trying to assist Lily to get her temperature down. Victoria descends, but she is anxious since she knows Mama will become enraged because she is envious of Annabelle for caring for her adopted children. The window was fixed by Annabelle the next morning, since the children would be seriously injured if they used the window to go outdoors. Next time, she advises them to take the stairs, especially Lily. While making breakfast for the family, Victoria makes a call to Annabelle. She sees Lily hidden in a blanket while she is putting the clothes away in the kids' room. When Victoria calls her once again to ask if she wants breakfast, she and Lily are seen waiting downstairs for her to finish. Annabelle searches the cabinet, perplexed to see what may be concealed by the blanket, but all she finds is black sludge on the wall with no trace of the blanket. Annabelle is asked by Victoria to leave the cabinet and have breakfast. As they both chat about the Mama thing while eating, Annabelle asks Victoria about her meeting with Dreyfus. Victoria is still reluctant to talk about her, though. Later, in their living room, Annabelle examines the doctor's leftover files. Victoria notices an old photograph of a woman in the files, which have documentation of the recordings of her and the doctor's interview. She then phones the doctor, but nobody picks up. She makes the decision to go to the doctor's office because she is worried and wants to know who the lady in the picture is. She slips into the professor's office as they enter and grabs a box containing the evidence from the Victoria and Lily case. They get going quickly and head back home. Lucas decides he has to look into his earlier vision of Jeffrey at the hospital. Lucas examines the map and the image to learn more about the direction he was pointing. As he contacts the automobile rental, he imagines Jeffrey on the bridge at Clifton Forge 9. Later that evening, back at Lucas's house, Annabelle discovers the doctor's box and papers in an effort to learn more about Mama and what the doctor is aware of. In order to learn more, she opens the laptop, watches the movie, and looks through the files. In one video, she hears Victoria discussing Edith's tale, including how she lost her baby and how the child was later found. She pulls out another file, which displays the second, smaller box holding Edith's baby's bones. She then makes a call to Lucas, but he chooses not to pick up since he is also following up on a tip at Clifton Forge 9. As Annabelle learns the tragic tale of Edith and her baby's passing, she begins to cry. As the children sleep, Miss Podolsky sneaks into their house to take pictures of the children's injuries to prove to the judge that the children are being abused while in Lucas's care. Victoria sees her and gives her a hug to say goodbye and that she loves her. But when Lily and Victoria see that the black goo in the closet is stirring, they get up to see how Annabelle is doing. When Mama sees them, she is enraged and envious of Annabelle. She bites Annabelle in the back to slow her down, and then decides to attack Miss Podolsky, the second invader at the house. In order to launch a stealth attack and take possession of Miss Podolsky's body, Mama appears as a hare. After a few minutes, Annabelle awakens, but Mama has already kidnapped the children. When she arrives at the Clifton Forge 9 cliff, Annabelle drives quickly while carrying the baby's remains. She encounters Lucas as she makes her way to the cliff, because they both want to stop Mama from taking the babies away from them. When they go to the cabin, they see that Miss Podolsky has already passed away, and as they leave, they realize that the cliff is actually only a short distance from the cabin after all. Annabelle and Lucas attempt to bargain with Edith at the cliff's edge, as Annabelle is aware of the tragic circumstances behind her passing. She displays the cloth-wrapped corpse of her kid, while Edith is about to leap off a cliff when Lily cries, "Mama." The body is thrown, and Edith snatches the kids. Lucas and Annabelle attempt to strike back, but Edith is far too powerful for them. Lily approaches Edith with an offer. If she won't harm Annabelle and Lucas, she wants to be with her. Annabelle reaches for Victoria's clothing, but Edith continues to object, just as Annabelle does. The movie closes with Annabelle demonstrating her love for the children, but it is insufficient to break the relationship between Edith and Lily, since Lily decides to stick by Edith through it all. Edith leaps in the lake with Lily. After that incident, a grieving family of Lucas, Annabelle, and Victoria finds a familiar butterfly in Victoria's palms, where they think Lily is saying goodbye.